Hello. Just checking you'll hear me. If you can hear me okay, just so I know, could you just comment in the box, please, just so I know that we're on the right lines tonight. I don't know if it's actually working. It doesn't appear to be. Or maybe it is. Got a wave, I think, from somebody. Hi Harriet. Hi Charlotte. Hi Matt. We will. Oh, here we go. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Harriet. Appreciated. Cool. Never know these things go on for 5-10 minutes without actually anybody hearing anything. Cool. Good news. Thanking us this evening. Just waiting for my colleague, business partner Marcus will be joining us as well. Both of us will talk you through. Let's. Great. We'll give it a few minutes, guys. We've got 17 people booked on this evening. Obviously, 3 of you with us at the moment. So we'll wait for everybody. Well, probably not everybody, but hopefully we'll have good numbers this evening, and we'll make a start. Marcus is struggling to get on. So the format of this evening will be going through who we are, our journey to where we are at the moment, the amount of schools that we've worked with, how we work with schools, detailing different products that we have and that we've implemented into schools, and that'll be it really. We kind of try and make it as interactive as possible in terms of we'll have some videos which I'll click through the links onto the videos so that you can see some live images of well, not live images, but real images of the playground being used and our products being used, so it hopefully will come across better than just me talking. Here's Marcus. So yeah, we will we'll go through all of that. We'll go through all of the products and show you some videos throughout. And then at the end, we'll just sort of detail next steps for you if you want to take it further with us and take it into a further conversation, either over the phone or when the time is obviously right. I'm not at the moment, but potentially set up some meetings in the future as well. Schools are obviously interesting places at the moment. We've got coaches that are still out delivering on a daily basis, and some that aren't. So we've got a real mixture, but we're supporting schools as much as we can in Somerset with our coaching team. And we are hoping, fingers crossed, that there is some kind of normality after the May half term, which feeds into the summer for us really, and hopefully that will enable us to get back to working with schools and preparing them for a September start. Okay, still just the 3. We'll give it 1 more minute and then we'll make a start. In fact, what we'll do is I'll just load up the presentation. We can just talk about who we are. And just introduce ourselves. Okay. All right, hopefully you can see that. I can't see the chat anymore. So if you do have any questions throughout the presentation, please do ask. Please just jot anything in the chat box and we will answer any questions at the end. I'm sure, well, hopefully we'll answer as many as we can during the presentation, but if there's anything that crops up in your mind, whether it's installation time frame, which is obviously a little bit different at the moment, but we can give you a sort of a guide as to what we think that looks like. But any questions you have, please just ask away. Okay, so thank you firstly and foremost for joining us on the webinar. And just quickly then about us. So I'm Ben Kirk. I'm one of the founders and directors of Inspired Schools. And a bit about me and my background. So I was a secondary school PE teacher. Both Marcus and I used to work for the local partnership here in Somerset, which is Somerset Activity Sports Partnership, or SAS as it's better known in Somerset. And yeah, that was way back when, sort of 12, 13 years ago, I think, maybe a bit longer. And then I went off to become a secondary school PE teacher, did a bit of travelling, got offsteaded during my NQT year, which was nice of them to come in and observe one of my practical BTEC year 10 PE lessons, which went really well. And came out of secondary school and then started Key Stage Coaching, as it was called then. So our coaching team, our coaching arm, which still runs at the moment, which is now called Inspired Somerset. So I started in 2013. And yeah, we're a team of 12 coaches now that go out across Somerset and deliver an amazing service to our schools. We've got a really good reputation in Somerset. All of our coaches are excellent. We observe them, and then we've got a really good team that we've built over the last 6.5 years, almost 7 years now. So that's me. Marcus, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi all, nice to hear from you tonight. So Marcus Holmes, more recently a career with the FA, the County FA and the National FA, all to do with kind of raising standards within the game, but also kind of retaining children and adults playing, and also kind of growing the game as well. Started off many years ago, going through the kind of sports science route at university, working for Cheltenham Town and Bristol City Football Club in the community, and kind of then more recently led on to being a sports project manager for Somerset Rural Youth Project, which was mainly working with 13 to 19-year-olds in some of the smaller villages and hamlets within the county, all again to do with raising activity levels and getting more people active. From there, went to the Somerset and Activity Sports Partnership, and had 8 really enjoyable years there, delivering on many different projects, primarily in education, but also kind of within the community and inclusion projects as well. Thanks, Pam.
Okay, so talk about the coaching side of things and how that started. Just sort of give you a brief overview and a backstory as to how Inspired Playgrounds came about. As I mentioned, Marcus and I used to work for SAS back in 2006. I started, and even in that gap between 2007 when I left to 2013 when re-entered into primary schools, noticed a real drop-off in physical activity, physical literacy, whether you've experienced the same sorts of things if you've been in primary schools for a long period of time. But we really noticed it, especially for young children coming in at the foundation stage. They didn't quite have those fundamental skills that we were used to when we were at SAS previously. And also, like I said, the physical activity had just dropped right off. Kids weren't as active. Obviously, there are active children in primary schools, but it just felt like it had dropped off. So we started to think about what we could do as a company to raise physical activity levels. And one of the areas that we identified as a need was break and lunch times initially. So we looked at that and thought, well, playgrounds aren't being utilised and fully used. Obviously, the summer's a different story when the field's in use, it's a really good time to be outside. But throughout the year, it wasn't being used as much as we wanted it to be. And those children that I'm sure you can picture and visualise, those less active children that break at lunchtimes, they just weren't engaging in anything. They would choose not to be active. So we just started thinking, how can we engage those children in particular, not necessarily the ones that play football outside of school or whatever sports. They're not necessarily the ones that really need targeting, and not targeting is not the right word, but try and help them to want to be active and enjoy it. That was our biggest thing. How can we make physical activity enjoyable, interactive? So we came up with Inspired Playgrounds in 2017. We piloted it with one of our coaching schools. It was a huge success. That was in the May half term 2017, and it was a massive success. We didn't necessarily know it would be at that point. We thought it was a good product. We thought it was a good project. The school loved it. We'll go into more detail about what the project looks like. But that's just how it sort of started, really. And then from there, I'll go back to that previous slide in a second, but this is our journey from that May half term. So we classed them as sort of 2 more pilot schools in August. And we just wanted to, excuse me, see how it went with those schools and just really refine what it is Inspired Playgrounds at the time did. So we obviously wanted to raise physical activity, but we just refined it, how we wanted to work with schools and to make it work as best we could when we rolled it out fully. And then, as it says there, November 17, we had the Somerset Activity Sports Partnership Conference, where we sort of presented the idea to probably 60 plus delegates, I would say, on the day. And you can see the journey there. So in year 1, 11, including the pilots, and then 23, and then 31. So we're up to 65 schools now that we have, we like to call it partnered with rather than work with or have bought our project, because it's a long-term commitment from our side of things that we want it to work. We want to partner with schools to make it the best product and project that it can be. So just going back quickly, this video, hopefully, if you haven't seen anything of what we do so far, hopefully this will bring it to life a little bit. If it loads up, here we go. Okay, so that is the very first promotional videos or set of videos that we had done, and we just wanted to capture what it was that the playground did. Obviously, Marcus is in the video leading a session there, and you've got the sports leaders there as well, which we'll talk about in more detail. But what we took, oh my word, that is some live workouts that I've been doing over the last few weeks. Apologies. Okay, so the problems that we talked about earlier and what we looked to refine our offer to schools, we obviously knew about physical activity, but that's how we wanted to help schools and help children become more physically active, but also look to engage families and communities and also the teachers to become role models within that school as well. So that was a given, I suppose, and I won't go into all these videos here, but there are videos on each of these aspects. But what became really apparent was that behaviour was something that a lot of schools would talk to us about, not necessarily as a problem as such, although some would identify it as so, but it was around break and lunchtimes specifically, how to structure break and lunchtimes to become, less arguments. Football obviously can be an issue at break and lunchtime, so behaviour became something that we began to talk to schools about, and having structured break and lunchtimes can help with that. But equally, we talked to schools about having learning breaks, using the markings or using Inspired 5 to have a learning break so that children can break from the learning. And even those children perhaps that aren't that are challenged in the classroom, they can come out of the classroom to have a break with their TA, and then they re-engage back into their learning, and it gives them that breather, it gives them that learning break, that brain break. Also, sports leaders became a huge part of the project, not necessarily a problem that schools would identify, but an area where leaders aren't potentially utilised as much as we want them to be. So we train up the leaders as part of the project, and they run the project. They run lunchtime sessions. They record the data that you saw in the video there, and then this all sort of not culminates, but none of this impacts on teacher time. So teacher time is a huge thing for us, having worked in education for a long time. If it was a resource-heavy project that teachers had to spend a significant amount of time planning or being out on the playground or whatever it might be, we're just very aware that it would have started to fade away. So that's the problems that we try and help schools not address, but we work with them to try and help them improve on all of those areas. And Marcus, do you want to go into our projects and the way we work with schools?
Yeah, sure. So obviously one of our key projects is the Inspired Playground project, really used in a different number of ways by a lot of schools. As Ben kind of alluded to, a big part of the project is lunchtimes However, a lot of the schools that we've worked with recently, they'll use the project for gifted and talented sessions. They use the Inspired Playground project for after school clubs, also kind of smaller groups as well. So not just class sizes for PE based resources, but actually kind of focus groups. And I know one primary school that we work with on a weekly basis, they have a kind of a gifted and talented and coordination morning as well, whereby some TAs, some one-to-one TAs bring their children out, small groups come out and use the markings. And I know one school are currently trialing it for a numeracy morning as well. So many different ways that the playground project can be used. We've also got the Inspired Playground, the Inspired 5 project, which is a classroom-based resource, 5-minute workout videos. I'm sure Ben will be able to pop one on for us in a second. Thanks, Ben. Again, no real impact to teacher time. It's an online resource that sits on our data app that the children will and teachers will log activity time. Ben's just going to go and log in and show you the Inspired 5. So there you go. There's your Inspired 5 project. You've got a dance area, a HIIT workout area, a sports stories area, and also a yoga area as well. Automatically, what will happen with our schools as well, a class teacher, as soon as they click on a workout, all of those children within that class get attributed minutes as well. So every time that class teacher clicks on a video, all of those children will get 5 minutes added to their time, and data can be crunched so that you can get individual week and individual classes and children, but also kind of on a longer lifespan as well, so termly and annually as well. I think Ben's going to try and pop up one of the videos on there.
Yeah, and just on the point that Marcus was mentioning there about the automatic recording of minutes. So on my profile, because I'm not linked to a school, I would have to go and create a session. But if you were a class teacher, you would automatically have your class linked to your account. So if I was a class teacher, what I would have here, instead of create session, I would have record session. So I just have to click record session and then play the video, and it's done. And you've got 5 minutes that are attributed to your class. And as Marcus said, you've got all those videos there. We won't play the whole thing. Obviously, maximize the screen. So that's Inspired 5 on the web app here as well. You've got the sessions that the children will create for lunchtime sessions. So again, you wouldn't have the options to show all these schools, but your school will automatically be synced on here, and the children would go in and they'd record who was taking part in the session, whether it was 30 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever it might be. And it gives you a really nice way of having some data to show and to put onto your website. And also we provide a data report every term to schools as well with that. Sorry, Marcus.
No, that's fine.
So yeah, that's Inspired 5. That's a really new thing that it sits on the web application now. It used to just sit on the website and it just used to play, whereas now we've managed to sync it so that the minutes will link to the videos that are being played. So our sort of vision, if you like, behind that is that schools will have inter-school competitions. So it might be that a year 3 class are leading the way, doing the most Inspired 5 minutes. And then the other children can see that, or it's celebrated in celebration assembly, or you have like a running total or running competition. And then it just incentivizes and it just creates that sporting ethos at the school so that the children, they're not physically competing against one another, but they are competing from a point of view of they want to be the most active class. And what a lot of our schools do is they will have some kind of trophy or certificate that will hopefully spread around the classes. And they break it down on a weekly basis, but then they have an overall winner at the end of every half term, at the end of every term or year. And equally, that can be done not only just for houses, that can be done, not only for classes, that can be done for houses as well, if you have a house system that you want to incentivize. So you can have Inspired 5 minutes that are collected, and also the Inspired Playground minutes as well. And it can be after school clubs, any form of physical activity that you want to record, the minutes can be recorded. The facility is there for you to do so. Inspired Lives is our it's a brand new project that we're rolling out with one of our schools here in Somerset, and we hope that it will be ready to be rolled out to schools nationwide from September. It's going really well. It's a year project, an all-encompassing project, and during that year we speak to the school and we identify areas that they would like to work on, and it tends to be values and areas that they'd like the children to improve on. So to give you an example, they've been working on creativity, resilience, confidence, and problem solving as the kind of four main ones, but also they're looking at behaviour as well. And that can be in the form of inset days or days where we deliver to the children, a tutor, an expert in an area comes in. So again, to give you some context, they've had a performing arts day to work on creativity, and they did Matilda the musical on that day. And it was amazing. It's just lovely to see children responding in different ways, as I'm sure you would have experienced. You turn music on in a classroom or in a school hall, and everything changes for that child. We had a boy who struggled to sit still throughout the day, but when the music was on, something just triggered him, and he was just on it, completely focused, completely engaged, and had the best day. But even in those bits in between that, he struggled. So the project is around inspiring the lives of children to hopefully build personal skills that they perhaps wouldn't have before, or sort of build on the skills that they already have, but also maybe to help them to find something that they perhaps didn't think they would enjoy previously, if it was performing arts or if it was outdoor education. We try and give them a broad range during that year. And then we have an introductory sport leader course, which feeds into some of our more substantial courses. It's an online resource, and there are resources that you can download from the website to supplement that. And it's just an overview really of how to start training and start working with sports leaders and the type of things that you want to see from them, work with them on, and what you want to see from them at the end of the project. All those things are working towards the problem. So all the solutions that we've created there all work towards physical activity, behaviour, developing leaders, and also none of the products impact on teacher time either. I won't read this out, but our vision essentially is to create more physically active schools and children within those schools to help them engage better with their learning, attainment, attendance, behaviour, all those things. That's what we're really passionate about. That's what we want to do and to scale across the entire UK. I won't read these out either, but those are testimonials. Those are on our website. There's some video testimonials on our website as well from a few of our schools that we've worked with, which takes us on to the offer that we'd like to offer schools that join us. As I said, we don't know what it's going to look like over the next few months, but what we are hoping is that our installation team are able to get functional before the summer holidays at the latest, so that we can have schools join our vision for Inspired Playgrounds, but also then Inspired 5 as well. So if schools are joining our Inspired Playgrounds project, then we are going to extend Inspired 5 and to be honest, we'll do that for schools that don't join us for the playground project as well, as an introductory offer to try and kick-start schools' academic years next year from September. So we're going to offer Inspired 5 for £99 for the first year. It's usually £395. As I said, it's going to sit on the online web application now and record minutes automatically. So it's a really exciting project, and it's being developed to improve so it's quantifiable, so you've got that data element to it as well. Okay, and the next steps. So if you've enjoyed what we've spoken about this evening, and I'll just log out, well not log out, but I'll leave this shared screen a second, see if there are any questions. But the next steps would be, you can either, and what I'll do tomorrow is send out an email off the back of today, and I'll share the link for this is online as well if you missed anything or you want to go back and hear anything again. And I'll share some links to the videos that we haven't put up, all of them this evening. So if you have something's interested you and you think potentially Inspired Playgrounds or Inspired 5 or even Inspired Lives, even though that hasn't been rolled out yet, but you wanted to have a conversation about it, then please get in touch. So you can either do that via email, you can directly call us. Our website is on there, and the phone number to give us a call is on the website. But equally, you can book a call in with us. If you go onto the website, on the bottom right-hand corner, in fact, I'll show you that now. There is a link that you can click, and it enables you to book a call into our calendar. So this is our website, and here, down here, so you can see schedule a call with us. Click that, and then you can book a call with us. Pretty straightforward. And then, yeah, it'd be great to speak to you and hopefully work with you in the future. And this is our website. We've got lots of stuff on here. So there's videos on everything that we talked about. So web application on how that works and how you can log into that. Inspired Playground specifically, so more videos on how the playground works. There are some videos from the Inspired Lives Day that we have delivered. Videos on every area that we talked about this evening, so behaviour, teacher time, sports leaders. There's also some videos on the sports premium there. Be interested to see what happens with that moving forward. And the downloads that I mentioned, so there's certificates, rotors, lots of different things on there. And then each of the products that we've talked about are on here that you can have a look at and find out a bit more about. Going back to the slides. Another way that you can keep in touch with us is to join our Facebook group or Facebook page. So we've got a page and a Facebook group, which is maybe where you saw about this evening. So the Facebook group, we are improving it, and within that group, over the coming weeks, we're gonna probably launch it with some live sessions in there. And I mean live sessions with conversations with potentially an expert from the field of maths or from the field of yoga and how to implement that into the school day, or meditation potentially as a behaviour management technique. So we're going to try and get experts from the field of not just physical education, but education as well. And we'll get them in the group, and we'll interview them in the group, and we'll speak to them about some issues that schools might face. We'll open it up to you guys in the group as well to ask any questions prior to those interviews that you'd like answered on that call. And then that will be exclusive to that Facebook group. And what we'll look to do is try and do those as often as we can. Obviously, it would be dependent on people's availability, and doing a live on a Wednesday morning when everybody's teaching isn't going to work. So trying to get somebody of an evening or weekend. If it's not live, however, the interviews will still take place and they'll still go into that Facebook group. But we're going to try and put, what we will be putting is a lot more value into that group. And we want that community to be really thriving. There's going to be no selling in that group, so no external companies will be trying to sell their products within that space. It will just be a space to talk about PE, talk about education, talk about primary schools, whatever it might be, and everybody in there is going to be there to help and assist everybody. Yeah, just some other ideas there. So there might be some lesson ideas that we put out there moving into the summer term. If we do go back after May half term, one of our coaches might provide an athletics lesson for you to try out, or a snippet of a scheme of work. So yeah, we want to help each other in there and make it a really thriving community. So to find that group, what I'll do is I'll link it into the email after this webinar, so I'll do that tomorrow. But if you just go on Facebook, if you're impatient like me, just search Inspired Schools and it should come up, and you just request to join that group, and I'll accept you in there. And that is it. Did you want to add anything, Marcus?
Only really quickly, Ben, with regards to the process around the Playground project. So obviously, we've been asked what the Playground project entails. It kind of looks like a physical installation, so a full day installation. And directly after that, all of our partner schools then receive a full training day from one of our tutors. And that generally looks like working with a group of children to become sports leaders in the first part of the morning, then moving into those sports leaders and our tutor delivering to classes as part of teacher CPD as well. Obviously training on the Date app and how to record for the leaders and for PE coordinators also. 3 months into the project, there's a follow-up training day, and that, again, it can be bespoke to schools. It can be on anything that they want. Many of our schools have asked for specific things on midday supervisor training, which often comes into that 3-month training day as well. On top of that, all of the guys obviously get access to the data app. There's a full incentive package, and I think Ben's kindly popped it up in the website. That's kind of what the Inspired Playground project looks like. Again, there's a leader incentive package for the leaders, but also obviously for some of the participants as well. So again, that's all available on the website. So if you're kind of wondering if my school would like a playground, what does it look like? That's kind of how it looks. Every term as well, what we do every term, we produce a data report for all of our schools. So all of our schools can, one, quantify the effect the project's having, but also kind of look at various groups such as pupil premium groups, how many pupil premium children are taking part in the lunchtime activities, how many children are taking part in activities after school using the markings, and it kind of gives you a thorough insight into how the project's being used and to what effect it's having. So yeah, just a little bit really regarding what happens when we sign up for an Inspired Playground project as well. But that's it. Thanks, Ben.
Cool. Yeah, great. With regards to Inspired 5 as well, similarly, we just send a login out to schools that want access, and away they go. It's as simple as that. It's a few clicks and off they go. Yeah, that's kind of it. And yeah, thanks, Marcus, for saying about that. I think hopefully that will make it clear the journey that schools go on once they join us. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to just fire away, ask them in the panel. If not, then obviously the email will go out tomorrow. Feel free to email back or give us a call, whatever works for you. And hopefully we'll be able to have a conversation with you soon. As I said, we've had a few inquiries from schools looking at summer installations. I think, well, it was prior to this all sort of kicking off majorly with COVID, but I think it makes sense, and it's a perfect opportunity, I think, in my eyes, for schools to really kickstart things for next year. And physical activity is going to be more vital than it ever has, in my view, in primary schools, to try and get children active, especially those ones that perhaps don't enjoy physical activity. Okay. Last chance for any questions. I'll give it until 32 minutes and then we'll call it a day. Any questions at all, feel free to ask. If not, I'll give it until 32 and then we'll call it a day and hopefully speak to you soon. Okay. I don't think anybody's writing. All right, cool. We'll call it a day there. But thanks everybody for attending, and yeah, look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks. Bye.